What's up, everyone? It's Adrian from Adrian's Awesome Accumulation, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mythic Legions, the Nymph, and the Churl. So there's no box today, so let's just get started. Alright, so here we have the Nymph, or the Churl, or whichever one. I don't know which one. I think the white-haired one is the Churl, and the one with like dark hair, as you're going to see, she comes with different heads, is the Nymph. But this is basically the way I have her. I think that she looks best like this. So basically, she's kind of like this, like dark, like gothic like fairy because of like these wings. She looks like a gothic fairy, but she could also be, like a sorceress, a witch. And yeah, I mean, that's why I picked it up, because I don't have like no sorceress type like ladies or like fantasy ladies. So that's why I picked her up, and she is a Legions Con exclusive 2025 version, I believe. Yeah, but this one was available at Big Bad Toy Store. That's where I picked it up. So yeah, and I don't think it's like available anymore, so you can't get it there. So you probably have to pick it up like, I don't know, somewhere else. But yeah, she looks great. I mean, look at this head sculpt. You can see like the decaying like part of her face right there. It looks neat, and she has like these wide out eyes, which looks awesome. And dark lips right there, and then the white hair just makes her look like super cool, right? Like a sorceress. And then of course you got like these fairy wings right here. They kind of look like insect-like. That's pretty neat, like a kind of like a dragonfly. So that's pretty awesome. And then like her belt, you can see she has a whole bunch of like little skulls right here, like rat skulls or some little creatures. Got some like chicken bones right there. She's got like like potion pouches and stuff like this. And this little accessories, these things come like clip on right there, so you can see, and you can just clip it onto her belt like so, and it'll stay there. Well, like if you move it around, it'll fall. But yeah, she's got this rope, and she got some pouches in the back, so that's pretty neat. And let's move her hair out of the way so we can see like her shirt that she's wearing, and it's just kind of like these black bandages across, right? So that's pretty neat. That looks pretty awesome. Look at that. That's pretty cool. And then up here, on the very top, you have like some kind of like different kind of like fabric or something like that for the top rim right there, and that looks neat. And of course the bottom is soft goods, and it's wired, so you can bend it to get it any way you want for articulation purposes. It's pretty neat. Again, I had to bend it down here because you can see the wire right there is coming out. So like, yeah, I wish they hit the wire more. Hopefully in their future releases they like sew it up or something like that. But yeah, and then you got a wire right here running down the middle of the back part right there, so you can make that look however you want. And then right here on the bracelets, you see they're like this nice silver and like these black like gemstones right there. That looks pretty neat. So that's awesome. All right. And then she has like this pale, like almost like death color, like skin tone right there, like very gray. So yeah. All right, so let's get into articulation now. So her arms come up to a T pose, right? And you can get them moving all the way around. Of course, I can't do it right now because of her wings, but yeah. And then it is a single bend right there at the elbows. All right. And then at the wrists right here, we got up and down movement. All right, so it's like a hinge, not a ball peg. And I wish these things were on ball pegs. I just really wish they were. I mean, you get so much more movement. I wish they would do that, but they don't. All right, so there's that. And then for the body right here, you can get her. Okay, so she has movement up here at her chest area right there, and you can not really get her moving like rotating or nothing like that, but like up a little bit, down a little bit, and then not really tilting, so I guess just up a little bit and down a little bit right there. And then right here for her like stomach area, she rotates, and she can't move back or forward. She just rotates a little bit right there at the stomach area. Oops, her hair was coming off. So her head, let's take off the hair for a moment. So you can get her up and look that high, of course, without the hair, and down that low. So there's that. And then you can turn her around. Again, that's without the hair piece right there. Let's put that in the hair. Let's put it in the hair. And of course with the hair, everything's gonna be, you know, very limited. You couldn't get her looking and stuff like that. And these hair pieces are kind of annoying to put on. But yeah, there's that. Then her little potions fell off right there. Alright, so for her legs, she can't do the splits all the way, as you guys can see right there. She has a single bend at right there at the knees. Like that. Alright, and then right here, she kind of like rotates a little bit at the thigh, I do believe. Yeah, so as you guys can see right there, this piece right here, which is connected to this inner piece, you can get a little bit of rotation right there. And then she does kick this far forward and that far back. So she can do the splits front and back. And then her toes bend back that far, her feet that far forward. She have an ankle rocker? Yes, she does. Right there. So that's good. So that is basically the articulation. I mean, yeah, she can bend forward a little bit and then rotate a little bit, but not much articulation wise, like on the body, like the stomach area, the torso area. So there's that. So be aware of that. All right, so that is, and then the wings, of course, you can move them up, down, stuff like that. So that is pretty much it for the articulation right there. And stick with me. And she kind of looks all disheveled now. And then we'll look at her accessories. All right, be back in a few. All right, you guys, here we have all our accessories. Let's start off with the hands. All right, so here we got two like gripping hands right here. And as you can see, her nails are like this gray color, and then of course that pale like kind of like death, kind of like skin tone that she has right there. And then these things are on hinges, so like they'll go, these are like on up and down, as you can see right there. Wish there were ball pegs, but yeah. So that's both of them. Got like this hinge stuff right there. All right, and then we got these like curling her fingers kind of like hands right there. It's pretty, like she can use it to choke someone out or something like that, or like take their spirit out or something like that. Just get creative. But yeah, they look pretty cool. And again, these are on up and down hinges, so you guys can see. There we go. It's pretty cool. I like the way they curl their fingers and stuff like that. That's pretty neat. Again, this one right here, this one's also on an up and down hinge right there. And as you can see, I kind of have her like bringing up her like accessories right there. That's pretty neat. And then another gripping hand. So that's pretty cool. So you got like 3 gripping hands for like 5, or no, 4, because I have one on her as well. So that's pretty neat. And then she comes with this rat, which is just like a little toy, no articulation here. The tail is kind of bendy though, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, you can have it as like a background piece or something like that for like a diorama display or something. Just like a little rat standing, or like scrawling against the ground or something like that. Crawling against the ground. Alright, then we got more little like bone accessory pieces right there that you can like clip onto her belt. Right there, we got like some chicken bones. And then we got like a crow skull right there, which looks pretty neat. That's pretty cool. So like, yeah, you could just clip this on her belt, or like save them and then, you know, get another, you know, Mythic Legions figure and put them on them. So that's pretty neat. Or have them like background accessories as well. And actually, I think one of these came with the Warrior and the Revenant. I'm not sure which one though, but I think I put them in the same bag. But like, she only comes with one. I'm not sure if it's this one or it's this one inside the cage right here. But it's one of them. I'm not sure which one. But let's go. I'm gonna say it's the one in the cage, because that's the one I have in the cage. Alright, so there's this one. I think it's this one, but this one has like sharp teeth right there, and then like the white bulging eyes right there. That looks crazy. It's like a zombie head, so that's pretty neat. And then we got this cage, which this is like you know, very soft and stuff like that. And then just like close this up here, so that's pretty neat. And then we got like different heads right here. We got an orc head, so this one looks cool. This is like the witch kind of like head, right? And you can see she has like some kind of like skull ornament right here, you know, like on her head, like which, you know, like separates her head from like the ponytail right there, and like this dreadlocks and stuff. That's pretty cool. So pretty cool, like evil witch orc lady head right there with like elf ears. So that's pretty neat. That's awesome. And then we have this head right here, which is, you know, kind of like, you know, kind of, I think this is supposed to be the nymph. So we got this head, and then we got black hair right here. But the thing about this, which I wish, you know, let me see this. You could take off the hair. And as you can see, this has like a little thing. And then this right here kind of pegs in, right? But like I showed you earlier, I wish that this head, see, this one right here like goes into the head, but this one goes into the hair. And I just wish that they'd have like, I don't know why, like I think she would look cool with like dark hair, but like they don't allow you to do that, so that's weird. And then with this one, you know, yeah, I see these both have like you pegged stuff into them and stuff, and I think it just it could have looked cool. So I don't know why they didn't allow you to like, you know, switch the hair pieces with the different faces. I mean, you know, they, you know, promote this stuff as like, you know, like mix and matching and stuff to make your own like figures. I wish you could do that with the hair. That would have been cool, but they didn't. But so there's that. Put this hair piece back on. So yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity. You know, having the heads with like different hair pieces, that would have been cool. And then we have this head right here, and this, you know, the hair is attached to this one. But yeah, this one's kind of like the nymph, but with like a short, kind of like bob hair kind of look right there, hairstyle. So that's pretty neat. All right. Then we got this piece, which is her staff. And this thing looks good. Look at all the detail right there. All the paint work, all the sculpting. Right here where she grabs onto it, like the bandages right there. Where it wraps around. And then like this wood piece up here. And then this piece you can like take off because it comes with like different ones. So you got this one right here, which is kind of like crooked. So you just put this in. So like, oh, you can just put it in. So you just put in that right there. And you have this staff with like the hook piece at the top. And you can take this off. Or you could have this one right here with just an orb on the top. So that's pretty neat. And if you put the hooked piece on right here, you could have the cage hanging from it. So you could have her like that with the cage hanging in it and a head in there or the rat in there or whatever. And then if you put the wood piece on, you could put like you could put a zombie head on top. So that's pretty neat too. See? So that's cool. So they allow you to change, mix and match the staffs, but not the hair pieces. But anyways, there's that. And then there's this piece right here, which is like this cool, like, you know, like see-through, like skull, kind of like soul spirit effect. Which you like imagine, like she throws out the skull, right, and these things come and fly at you and like hit you and cause damage. I mean, that's pretty neat. I really like this. This looks cool. And then you could just wrap this around her arm, and that's a pretty cool effect piece. I like that. I like that a lot. So there's that one. And again, you got the potions that I showed you earlier. And then we got like this knife, this crazy ass knife right here. And you can see all like the damage it has right there. All the sculpt work that went into it looks really nice. Got these silver rivets right here, the woodwork, the handle, as you can see right there. It looks good. You got like a little silver on the bottom of it right there. And yeah, man, this just looks really cool. So she does come with a weapon. It's pretty neat. And then lastly, she comes with like this cloak or this hood right here. And then the sides are wired. So you can like bend that any way you want. And then the part around the hood right here is also wired. All right, so that is all of her accessories. And now on to the posing. Pose 1, Dark Mage. Pose 2, Tormented Soul. Pose 3, The Woods Witch. Pose 4, Dark Invitation. Pose 5, Gothic Beauty. Alright, you guys, there's the review for the Mythic Legions, the Nymph, and the Churl, done and complete. Really cool action figure. I really liked it. Except for like the articulation and like in the stomach or the chest area. You know, she can't bend forward or back that far, and she can't tilt side to side, and she can only rotate a little bit. But you know, other than that, it's a pretty good looking figure. Cool fantasy figure, cool sorceress, fairy, you know, witch type of figure. If you like that, you know, I recommend you know, getting it if you can find it. Yeah, but other than that, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe if you guys like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. God bless, and bye.